Hey fam, today I'm going to tell you guys how I went from being a miserable screen addict to an adventure-seeking van lifer. The only thing I had to change was everything. Let's get into it. These days I spend my time doing adventure sports, exploring nature, and trying new things. I no longer doom scroll, keep up with any shows, or play video games. In fact, I make a conscious effort to avoid screens as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying any of those things are bad, but what I am saying is that those things turn bad for me. They are just not what I want from life right now. If you feel the same way, stick around, and maybe my experience can help you out. Only my family and some close friends know this, but for many years, I was a content-consuming screen addict. I watched a lot of YouTube, anime, and Netflix. When I wasn't watching something, I was playing games. And when I wasn't playing games, I was on social media. At a young age, I became hooked on screens. It started with VHS and NES, and then moved on to streaming services and PC gaming. My need for screens grew into an all-consuming hunger for more content. Thank goodness there was an endless supply. I thought the internet was the greatest invention since the bicycle. I had unlimited entertainment and information at my fingertips. I didn't need to ask anyone for advice or help. I had Reddit and YouTube. I didn't even need to see my real life friends. I had internet ones. As much as I thought I had it all figured out, I was miserable. I was so unhappy and I couldn't figure out why. Things became dark very quickly. Along with technology, I became addicted to drugs and alcohol. I spent years of my life trying to satisfy something inside me and I just couldn't figure out what it was. 5 years ago, I started to find what I really needed. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to meet new people, make genuine connections, and share experiences. I wanted to do the things I once thought were impossible. I remember being in my late teens watching Red Bull footage of mountain bikers. They were doing the craziest things I'd ever seen in the most beautiful forests and mountains. I had no idea where they were or how they were doing it, but it got me fired up. I'd show my friends in high school and say, "Look how cool this is." And then we'd talk about it all week. I'd find snowboard videos online and marvel at what people were doing. If only that was my life. It had never occurred to me that I could do that too. Five years ago, I drove across Canada to the West Coast, and my life has never been the same since. With some of my family already out that way, I was offered a room and an opportunity. Since I was unhappy and desperate for a change, the choice was obvious. I could stay put and try for the 100th time to make things work, or I could give up, move on, and finally take some risk in my life. I spent the last month back at home selling things and seeing my friends. I gave my notice at my job in telecommunications, and I had no work lined up in the West. Suddenly, my decision started to feel very real. I felt excited, but also scared. What if this is a mistake? What if nothing changes? What if I don't find what I'm looking for? Everything I owned now fit in a Mazda 3. After a teary-eyed hug with my dad, I was off. I did the 5,000 kilometer drive across the country in about 6 days. It was nice to hit the road and embark on what felt like a great adventure. I had no obligations, no schedule, and no one telling me what to do or where to go. For the first time in my entire life, I felt free. I really appreciated the vastness of the country and all the places I got to see along the way. It made me feel really small, and I realized the things I worry about every day don't really matter that much. In the end, I'm gonna be all right, and things are gonna work out. With so much time on the road, I got to thinking about my life. I started to think maybe I should change how I'm spending my time, and maybe I should pick up some new habits. For the first time in a long time, I was off my computer and I was genuinely happy. This had to mean something. After days of driving through the flat and windy prairies, I reached Calgary. Just beyond the city, I could see mountains. As I drove towards them, they grew and grew, until I was inside the range. I had entered the Canadian Rockies. I thought my journey was about leaving home, but truly, it was about going home. Driving through the winding roads, surrounded by mountains on all sides, I knew I had made the right choice. I knew there was nothing to be afraid of, and that this is where I belong. There's something about witnessing the power and scale of Mother Nature that really puts things into perspective. There's so much to explore and so much more to appreciate. I had no doubt that I was on my way to finding what I was looking for. I reached my family in the lower mainland of British Columbia and got settled in. Within a month, I started my apprenticeship in plumbing. Surrounded and inspired by mountains, I took up hiking and mountain biking. The more I got outside, the happier I became. My first season snowboarding in real mountains was incredible. Not once did I miss gaming or watching shows. I didn't own a TV and I gave up my gaming PC. All socials were deleted from my phone. To be honest, I was scared, but I was also happy, very happy. In less than a year in the lower mainland, I was ready to see more and do more. I moved northwest, closer to the mountains, where I was introduced to van life. At this point, I felt confident and unstoppable, and I was pretty sure I could live in a van too. I'm 32 years old, and it's been 5 years since I went and changed everything in my life. I've been clean for 4 years, and I've lived in the van for 3. I believe that risks and change are a part of life, and when doors open up, we need to go through them and see what's on the other side. It's even easier if the side you're on isn't working for you anyway. I'm gonna keep walking through life's doors, and I hope that you will too, because I think that's what life's about. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Let's go vanning.